I know, I think we have our chat disabled, but I believe reactions are available. So if everyone's having a good day today, shoot me a thumbs up or a clapping reaction just so I could see that you're there. And all right, see, I got Ian here. All right, Alan, thank you. Got some thumbs up here, Shanta, thank you. It shows that I'm paying attention, but I also want to test to see, make sure you guys are paying attention as well. Throughout the webinar, thank you, Eddie. Throughout the webinar, this will be a little bit interactive, so I will be asking a few questions to you guys. At the top, you will have the Q&A section. So at points, I will be asking questions, and feel free to post your answers in there. You can post anonymously if you'd like to, but I want to keep that open to you just to make this a little bit more engaging. But yeah, again, thank you so much for joining. My name is Edwin Trovada. I am with D1 Defend. And this is our first webinar, so I really appreciate everyone being here for this. This is the first time we are doing our webinar, so we appreciate your attendance. And today we are going over what is in your inbox. It's a critical discussion about protecting your business from the ever-present threat of email compromise. So today we're not just looking at spam, but we're delving into sophisticated attacks that target the very core of your business operations through email. Just to overview of what we're going to be going over, we're going to go over the threat landscape, the hacker's playbook, building your defense, an action plan, and then we will have a Q&A at the very end, just if anyone has any questions regarding business email compromise. So to start us off, threat landscape. What is the threat landscape? Well, we just want to focus on how layers of defense can be applied effectively in the construction sector to safeguard digital and physical assets. Email is the #1 vector for cyber attacks, and the methods are becoming increasingly sophisticated. The question isn't just if you'll encounter a phishing email, but how you'll respond to a highly targeted one. And then what is like the layers of security? Well, I just want you to imagine a medieval castle. It doesn't just rely on one wall to protect its inhabitants. Instead, it has multiple lines of defenses. You've got your moat around it. You've got a bridge. You've got the towering outer walls. You have the inner walls, and then on top of that, you've got guards, archers, perhaps even a secure keep at its center. If one defense is breached, there are others to slow down, detect, and ultimately stop the attacker. So the anatomy of phishing email. we're not talking about fish. I'm sure you guys all kind of already know that. But we're gonna dissect the anatomy of a phishing email. And this goes beyond just looking at the sender's address. We're gonna identify common elements that once you know what to look for, you know how to spot all the red flags. So the hacker playbook. And to truly defend ourselves, we need to understand the hacker's playbook, knowing their tactics that help us anticipate and counter their moves. They're betting on a few things. First thing is convenience. And sure, memorizing passwords, long, complicated passwords, it's annoying. I get it. I have to reset my password every 90 days, and I have to try to remember, a password that is complex, but that I can remember that isn't so complicated that when I type it, I can type it real fast. But a lot of people tend to just use easy passwords, no multi-factor authentication. That level of convenience is the things that hackers are really hoping that you do. The other thing is being busy, being too busy to fully look into an email, really looking at the whole structure of the email, the sender, the body. You know, hackers are on the rise. Just last year in 2024, CDK Global got involved in a significant cyber attack on their cloud-based software systems, which is something that's widely used by auto dealerships across North America. And that attack took took place over only a couple days. It was June 18th and the 19th, but it affected approximately about 15,000 dealerships. And that this disruption impacted various dealership operations, sales, financing, vehicle maintenance, repair services, which ultimately led to CDK Global to initiate negotiations for a ransom payment with the suspected attackers, which I believe came from Eastern European hacking group. But this situation highlights the critical nature of robust cybersecurity measures and incident response plans for businesses heavily dependent on digital and an IT infrastructure. So, how confident are you in spotting a phishing email? Uh, the FBI's 2024 Internet Crime Report that was released in quarter two of 2025 confirmed that business email compromise was the second costliest cybercrime in 2024, resulting in $2.77 billion in losses across 21,442 incidents. And that's only the reported incidents. And I'm sure that number is a lot higher for the ones that just weren't reported. How is this happening? Well, with the rise of AI's role, cybersecurity firms like, there's Viper, KnowBe4, Strongest Layer, but they're all reporting that 40% of or more of business email compromised phishing emails are now AI generated. What's that mean? Well, it means, before phishing emails were a little bit easier to detect. There was poor grammar. The like words were always misspelled. But now they have, thanks to AI, they have perfect grammar and they have native level language. AI is eliminating the telltale signs of foreign attackers, making the emails indistinguishable from legitimate business communications. AI can also analyze compromised email threads or public information to tailor the phishing message with highly specific details, making it incredibly convincing. And they can spoof who the sender's coming from, make it look like it's coming from your boss, from a fellow coworker, your grandmother. And then on top of that, the scale and speed. Attackers can generate thousands of unique, highly personalized phishing emails rapidly, increasing their success. And to me, that's a bit scary. Like sometimes it's hard. I've fallen for a couple of them now just because of how tailored they are to me specifically. So we're talking about phishing emails. How do we spot them? Can we spot them? Um, right now on your screen, I've got an email up here, and this is where I open it up to you, the audience. Is this a phishing email? And if so, I want if you can in the Q&A, just if you could say yes, no. But if you say with your answer, I would like to see your answer of why you responded that way. Yes, this is phishing email because of this or that, or no, I don't think it's a phishing email because of this or that. So I'll give you some time, read it over, look at it, and I look forward to seeing some responses. I hope. Eddie Sumar, yes, it is fishing because he doesn't have a Netflix account. Well, that would be a that would be a good reason to believe that's a phishing email. That's That's a funny one. Giselle, the email address. Okay, that's a good one. Anyone else have anything there? Shanta, because yes, because of the sender. Yeah, actually, these are all correct. I see Eddie typing here, so I'm gonna wait for that. The URL, Anil, the URL. Okay. Eddie Sumar, the two recipients. Okay, that's another one. The banner. All right. I see another. See Joe typing here, so I'm gonna wait for that response to come in before we move on. These are all excellent answers. It was sent to many. That's another one. Okay. And these are all great answers, and you are all correct. And the like, just to point out, I know I didn't really go over what to really look at. We've we've had been hold of your net account Netflix. Okay. Yeah, these are all I didn't give you guys the answers yet, but I'm really glad you guys are able to read this and really pinpoint it out because this is indeed a phishing email. The sender is from info@confirm.com. That doesn't look like it's coming from Netflix to me. I would assume that if Netflix was trying to contact me, it would come from their own domain. And then yeah, the receiver, two recipients. That sounds like they're just sending a mass email, and you're a part of a list that they're sending that out to. Anil brought up a good one, the URL, which is a great thing I really wanted to point out. When you are looking at an email and or what would be a suspected phishing email, they are gonna try to use urgency, but also you're gonna lend you a link to click on that might at its surface look like a legit URL. Like this URL, for example, on its surface, it's login dot members area dot netflix.com. That might sound legitimate, but if you hover over that URL without clicking on it, don't click on it, please, but just hover over it, and you will see the URL right here. And if it'll always say HTTPS, :/. If the first line isn't netflix.com, 100% chance that that's a phishing email trying to direct you not to netflix.com, but to another website where they're going to try to get you to input your information. And once you've done that, now they've got your keys to the kingdom. Let's move on. Let's look at another phishing email. Is this a phishing email or not? Let's take a few minutes. Let's review this one and shoot your answers into the chat or the Q&A and let me know what you guys think. I wish I had like a soundboard where I could play like the Jeopardy theme song. Like the do 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 do. Okay, Shanta, the sender again, yeah. Email address of sender. Perfect. The email template, content, specifically the time. I know that the time does say it's from 2021, but it's look at the language, yeah. There's no email-records.com. It's a phishing simulation. And yeah, you guys are all correct. And this was this is an example of a phishing simulation email, but one of the few, and you guys were all right. The email address of the sender, that definitely right here, that's not Microsoft.com. Yes, it was sent to me, but that sender usually is the telltale like thing that you can really look at. But one of the things I really want to highlight on this, and it's something I mentioned in the previous one, is this right here. A high severity alert has been triggered. And that's a tactic that hackers will use is we call it the scare tactic of hey, like something big happened and you need to respond right now. There's a high alert, red flags are being shot up, and you need to react to this immediately before something bad happens. Those are typically tactics that hackers will use to get you to just, oh no, like you're freaking out, and maybe you're looking at it, and maybe you're having a busy day, and you're going about your day. You see this email, and maybe you did click on something earlier that you like may not have been a suspect, but now you got this. Sometimes it's just really good, impeccable timing. Maybe you access something that you went to a website that you might have done something, and then now you get this, and then next thing you know, you're clicking on the link because, oh no, I might have done something that compromised our system. Let me go ahead and fix this right away. These are the things that they're gonna try to use to really get you to click on things. And I'm really glad you guys are seem to be pretty good at finding all of the things that are pointing to it is a phishing email. I have one more example for you. Let's see if you guys can identify if this is yes a phishing email or no this is not a phishing email. I'll give you guys a few moments to look this over. Go ahead and shoot your comments once you're ready. Got Shanta in here. Not a phishing email question mark. Possibly. Anil, this looks legitimate. For more details, we need to look over email headers. And Neil, that is a great point. Uh, Eddie, the URL. Eddie, I like to kind of poke and prod a little bit. What is it about the URL that you think? If do you think it's legitimate or not legitimate? Joe thinks it's a legit email. Email was sent to one sender. That's a good point. Giselle looks legit. Came from at Canva. URL shows the canva.com. Eddie trail.canva. Okay. Got another response coming in, so I'll wait for that to come in before I move on. Hello, Eddie. um, but no, okay. So you guys were on the dot there. This actually is a legitimate email. This is actually an email that was sent to me. I threw this in here to just kind of give a little bit of a curveball. But yes, this is a legitimate email. And a lot of the answers in here were correct. The sender was from canva.com. It was only sent to me, and you can see my name on there. But and Eddie, I know you had noticed, and I mean it's a good thing to keep a lookout for too. The URL down here was trial.canva.com, which uh, I believe that because it was something new that was being sent to me. I think trial was the thing, but it still went to their domain. So, but it is really good to really keep an eye out for those types of things. But Anil, I like what you said earlier. We would need to look at the email headers, and that's something you could always do to really fully verify where the email is coming from and like the background of the email. But everything about this was pretty legit. And this was an email that got sent to me just a few days ago. Something got shared with me, and but the thing, what is really important about this too, is if this email had been just sent to me without any communication, that would trigger some suspicion for me. A little bit of paranoia on my end. But the biggest thing that you could also do is communication within your team. This was sent to me by Eddie at d1networks.net, which means that that was someone internal, Eddie, who is our owner of D1 Defend. He shared a Canva design with me. If that had come with no communication, I probably would have messaged him. I would have sent him a message in Teams saying, "Hey Eddie, I got this email. Looks like it's from Canva. Did you send this to me?" And sure enough, he said, "Yeah, like I did send that to you. That's something that we're working on." Great. Cool. I will probably open that up then and take a look. But if I said that, "Hey Eddie, I got this email from Canva saying, "Hey, you shared something with me," and he gives me a confused, "What are you talking about? I don't use Canva." Even though some things might look legit, I may still not open it because if he confirms that he didn't send that to me, then why would I want to open it? Just, one of the key things that um, you can really use to combat phishing emails, especially with things that are coming not just internal, but if someone from an external company sends you an email, verify it with them. Hey, did you send this email to me? Or if an email comes in with a file, hey, did you send this Excel document to me? I just want to make sure before I open it. No one's going to be like, why are you questioning my integrity? If no one's ever going to respond like that. It's always better to lay on the safe side and confirm, did you send this email? Let's go ahead and move on here. Uh, the dark web, uh, kind of a scary thing. Oh, I got a comment here before I move on. I think this is the most important element. The communication between the parties before opening an email. Eddie, that is exactly correct. Yeah, that is right. That's communication is one of the biggest defenses you can really have. When before opening an email or anything in an email. Hey, did you send this to me? No? Okay. Delete. But let's move on. The dark web. The dark web's most people probably have heard about it or they know about it. Some people probably think it's a scary place, but it's usually the place where when a website or a company gets breached and their sensitive information gets breached, this is where that information lies, and hackers can get onto the dark web and purchase information and then use that information against you. So I'm going to leave this open right now. We here at D1 Defend, we have a way to check email addresses to see if their email address has been compromised on the dark web. If anyone would like to shoot me their email, I can do a quick dark web scan live right here, right now. I promise I won't show any sensitive information, but I can, at least tell you if your email has been leaked onto the dark web, and that'll actually probably give you an idea that, hey, maybe I might need to reset my password soon. So I'll leave it open. I'll give it a couple minutes if anyone wants to put in their email. I'll use myself as an example. Let me go ahead and pull this up here, and I'll share my screen to pull away from the presentation. So, for example, I'll use my own personal email. Not too worried about people knowing that. I'm sure other people have it, but ejtrovada at gmail.com. So I'll plug it in here, and actually looks like my email is on the dark web, and it's not showing off anything too compromising right now. This is not what this will do, but anyone that's on the dark web that purchases this information can have it. Looks like there was a breach back in 2017. I'm not quite sure what this service was, but turns out they got my date of birth, they have my email address, my locations, my IP addresses, my names, my passwords, things that, I can't like, and it's not my fault. I didn't breach anything. I didn't do anything that, but the website that got breached did. 8 tracks. I know that's it was like a music thing, but a breach back in 2019. My password got leaked. Dropbox, which is a pretty popular website, back in 2016, they had a breach, and turns out my email address, my IP address, some of my passwords got leaked, and thankfully, I don't really use some of these websites anymore, so I'm not too worried about it. Um, but this is something I would actually probably worry about. I'm a gamer, but Steam, which is a gaming platform. I also use Spotify. I also use Netflix. Looks like it's a combo of all of this. Um, I think I've played Minecraft or Fortnite at one point, but my passwords for those and email address were compromised back in 2019. And thankfully I've reset my password since. But um, so if anyone would like me to plug in their email, you can put it into the Q&A. You can leave it anonymous if you'd like. But I'll leave that open to you. I'll give it a couple minutes. I know it's kind of a daunting thing to really kind of take a look into. It's kind of like peeling back the curtain a little bit, but I really want to open that up to you guys, to see if there are any curious people that want to see or Gmail, MySpace. I know it's been a while. I've probably aged myself just by showing MySpace, but hey, I'm sure we've all used it before Facebook became a thing. Eddie, I got an email from you, so let's go ahead and plug that in here. Yeah, and it looks like kind of the same thing. There are some services that got had a compromise. Looks like their whatever 4IQ was. I'm not quite sure what that one is, but I'm sure we could probably figure it out if we delved a little bit deeper, if we did a deep scan. But yeah, looks like there were some with this email address. LinkedIn had a compromise back in January of 2017 that leaked, some email address, some passwords. AOL.com, which is back from 2017. MySpace. See, I'm not the only one. I'm Yeah, the IRS covered California financial institutions were breached. So yeah, that is something that did get breached. I don't know if you guys were also aware of this, but actually just last month, what was it? It was Google, Facebook, Yahoo, they had a major breach that happened just last month where like it was like 2 billion passwords that got leaked onto the dark web. Like once I heard that, I reset all my passwords immediately. But if you weren't aware of that and you do use any of those platforms, which I'm sure almost everyone in here has a Gmail or a Facebook, um, reset your passwords soon, please. I that's something I would really, really hope that everyone does once they found, especially once they find out about that. But let's go ahead and move on. Eddie, thank you for providing your email. That let me go ahead. Could not start the presentation. Give me one moment. There we go. All right. So after all of this, building your defenses. I know we reviewed a little bit, but I want you to think back. Remember when I talked about that? The defenses of a medieval castle. Well, with you at the defense of identifying phishing emails, that's just you being the moat of those defenses. You still need, the bridge, the walls, the guards, the archers, perhaps even a secure center. If one defense is breached, you want other things that are there to slow down or detect and ultimately stop attacks. And there are other tools out there to help you. There are firewalls for your network. You have VPNs to spoof your IP address. You have password managers to help keep your passwords safe. Multi-factor authentication, which, by the way, multi-factor authentication. And this is something I cannot harp on more enough. One of the absolute strongest defenses you can implement today is multi-factor authentication, or as we like to call it, MFA. Um, MFA, enable it everywhere that you can. It adds a crucial second layer of verification, making it exponentially harder for attackers to gain access, even if they get your password. Remember back when I talked about convenience? MFA, I get it. It can be a bit inconvenient at times. There are times where even I've fallen victim to it myself, where I'm upstairs in my upstairs office, but I left my phone downstairs, and I don't want to get up and grab my phone, look at my one-time password or whatever, and type in the thing. I just want to get logged in, and I just want to get logged in now. I don't want these extra things. I don't want to have to wait for a text to pop up on my phone so I can get the code or whatnot. And that's the convenience that, like I said, hackers are hoping that you're willing to ignore. Like it can be, security can be inconvenient, but what's more inconvenient is it going downstairs to go get your phone, or waiting for that text message, or having to get in touch with customer service or the IT techs and having to get your passwords reset, having to go through all of your settings to make sure that the hackers didn't implant different settings in your Outlook, and being stressed because phishing emails got sent from your email account because hackers got into it. I would choose the latter of just getting a couple extra steps, making sure I'm wearing my my Fitbit watch, and getting my phone, or waiting for that text message. It's one thing that I again, I can't harp on it enough. MFA, keep your account safe, even if with the Google, Facebook breach. Yes, I reset my passwords, but even if they did, and they tried to get in, I'm still gonna get a notification on my phone that's gonna stop them, even before they get in. No, and let's move on. The biggest tool, the human firewall and training tools. And this isn't to be confused with an actual firewall, which helps keep your network secure, which I still ultimately do, like recommend, if especially if you are in a business environment. But ultimately, the most critical layer of defense is the human firewall, which is you. Yes, you. Equipping your team with the right training tools and ongoing awareness is paramount, which a well-trained employee can be your first and best line of defense. We are, as a team, and with any team-based, sports or games, your team is only as good as your weakest link. So let's include the tools and train your employees. So your weakest link is also your strongest link. Let's not get compromised. Including, simulated phishing exercises to practice spotting threats. The things that we just did today. Let's send that to all of your employees. Let's make sure everyone is on par. There are tools out there. We at D1 Defend, we use tools to run phishing simulations to all of our clients, and we give those reports to, like, hey, Sally Q tends to open up phishing emails, and maybe we need to sign her up for some extra training, or hopefully the one we hope for is, no, looks like everyone doesn't click on phishing emails. You guys are doing great. Rarely happens sometimes because unfortunately people open up phishing emails, but let's equip them with the right tools. So, what are the critical next steps? Well, like I said, I'm not gonna. I will say this as much as I can. Enable MFA, please. Enable MFA everywhere possible. If there's anything that you take away from this, you guys did great on the questions and everything. But if there's any takeaway, implement MFA. Second, run a network scan on your domain. This helps identify vulnerabilities and potential backdoors to attackers who could exploit them. And finally, investigate, simulated phishing for your team. Regular testing helps reinforce training and keeps everyone vigilant. If you do not have that set up, we at D1, we can help you with that. Just let us know. But that brings us to our Q&A section. So I would anyone that with any questions, go ahead and post them in the Q&A, and I'd be more than happy to answer any questions. How far can you go before it starts to be a problem? And then also on your screen next to the Q&A, that is a QR code. Go ahead and please scan it. I promise you it's safe. It is just going to bring you to our free resources on email security. So anything it's just a bunch of free resources you can use to share with your employees, your friends, your family, just some educational resources that you could use. All right. It doesn't look like I'm getting any questions here, so that does bring us to the end. My name has been Edwin Trovada. I'm with D1 Defend. You can visit our website at d1defend.com. There's also a QR code on the screen there that will take you to our website. Give us a call if you need any assistance with MFA, implementing phishing security, or any cybersecurity questions you may have. We are more than happy to help. And yeah, I appreciate everyone being here today. Thank you so much. This has been recorded, so we will be sending this over to you as well. We also will be posting this on YouTube, so hopefully you can also, if anyone that you would like to send this to, anyone that you think would benefit from having this information, then we would definitely recommend sending that over to them. We are planning on hosting webinars every month now. So our next webinar is scheduled for August. We will be going over the good of AI and also the bad use of AI, and how we can, how the AI world is building and how we can use it, and also how we can defend against it. So stay tuned for that. We hope to see you next month. Have a great day. Thank you so much for showing up.